Good evening, race fans. Welcome to tonight's Legacy Sports Cars Series, sponsored by Ledford Construction. We're going to be here at the Montreal Raceway, and it's going to be a great time tonight as we have several new drivers join us for the very first time. We've got Kai Shepard. He's out there for the first time. Maximilian Putrovsky, I believe is the right way to say that. So good to see a couple new racers out here today. Slightly smaller grids than we've seen in weeks prior, as a lot of these racers that normally run the Legacy Sports Car Series are out there running the Spa 24-hour special event. So I know Joseph Penn unable to make it. Nick Terrell not here. Cody Ledford, he is also not on track. Three of the favorites we've seen out there previously. But man, the GT1 class is going to be very, very exciting, as that's definitely going to be the biggest grid out there today, as these guys are all going to try and go out and put down some hot laps. Two regulars of the GT1 class. DJ Weeks Jr., he's number 997. He'll be accompanied by Robert Hill for the first time, as well as Kai Shepard and Maximilian out there running the GT1 class. So 4 cars in that class, 1 in the LMP2 class. That's going to be Kai Demarest in the number 42. And then Jumpin' Johnny Eckert in the number 90 Daytona prototype will be leading his class. Expecting lots of great racing, though, as we've seen in practice. Some of the drivers having a rough go holding on to these race cars on the tight track of Montreal. Not a lot of runoff and a whole lot of walls you can quickly get accompanied with. As we're watching right now, Kai Shepard make his way around, clicking off some good fast laps and just getting more and more comfortable in his machine out there today. On behalf of Ledford Construction and the Legacy Sports Car Series, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in from across the world. We couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you ever so much, as always, for tuning in and supporting your favorite drivers, your favorite Legacy Sports Car Series, and your favorite broadcast team. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East in the booth, always bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second, 6 nights a week. So thank you guys for having me out, and looking forward to another great race with all of these drivers here today. Now, Kai Demarest, he's probably in the best shape here to gain a whole lot of points. He's 5th in points in the LMP2 class, and appears to be the only LMP2 driver that has made it out so far. So Demarest will be running the number 42. Cody Ledford, let's cycle back. Nick Terrell, unable to make it here today. We believe he's in the Spa 24-hour race right now. He's out in front for the LMP2 class. Cody Ledford is 2nd. Alex Penn 3rd. Another racer in the Spa 24. Casey Carrott's in 4th. Yet again, another racer in the Spa 24. And then Kai Demarest, the currently last place car in the LMP2 class, but doing a good job and trying to get back up there. For Daytona prototypes, you've got Johnny Eckert still out front, the number 90 machine. He's the lone Daytona prototype driver to make it out today. 2nd in points, you've got Ahmed the Echo. 3rd, you've got Jack Forsey. And then 4th, you've got Carol Estelle. And then we take it to the GT1 class. You've got DJ Weeks Jr. He's out 1st in points. Our current points leader, he's got 3 starts, 3 poles, and 3 wins. So he has knocked out the hat trick so far. Charles Bochelle is in 2nd, but then you do have newcomers. Kai Shepard, Robert Hill Jr., and Maximilian Putrovsky all out there for their first time in the GT1 class. And unfortunately, no GT2 drivers unable to make it out. Both Mark Proctor and Andrew Neri unable to race tonight. Proctor had something going on where he couldn't make it, and then Andrew Neri is currently in Canada visiting his wife. They've been unfortunately separated due to the border policies in effect with the corona craziness. So Andrew is going up there to see the missus, and we hope he has a great time. You're listening to DJ Weeks Jr. Corvette, one of the best sounding cars on the race circuit. It is a 15-minute open qualifying, so about 10 minutes left for qualifying. And then it's going to be a 45-minute race out here at Montreal. 45 minutes straight. Expect to see a one-stop strategy from most of these drivers. As that's DJ Weeks Jr., the number 997, pushed a little bit too hard on cold tires, so he's going to get another run at it. Let's watch Shapper here. Kai with the Shappy Edits, sponsor number 2. Shappert, or lovingly called Shappy, he's out there for his first time tonight, as well as Robert Hill and Maximilian coming out for their first debut. If you're watching along at home, I've got to say this is probably one of the best series you can get into. A free series, very inexpensive cars for the most part. You can get a car that runs in the series for as cheap as $3, and a very often used racetrack. So you can spend a little bit of money, get out here, race with some great guys in the Legacy Sports Car Series, and have a bunch of fun. Always a lot of time in the booth with these guys. It's been really cool seeing all these drivers getting faster and faster, as we've had some drivers use this as their stepping off point for road racing. Oval racers such as Mark Proctor in the GT1 class coming out for the GT2 class, excuse me. Proctor's been using the Legacy Sports Car Series to get more familiar with the right-hand turns. He's got lefts pretty well dialed in. Shapard making his way around, getting everything dialed in. Kai Shapard, he was one of those drivers playing with different setups before in the practice session, trying to get a little bit more speed out of that car without risking stability. Let's look at the beautiful overhead shot here at Montreal as we're watching Robert Hill Jr. make his way around in the Corvette. About 7 minutes left to go with open qualifying. Right now it's Kai Demrest on top of the leaderboard in his LMP2. DJ Weeks Jr., he's out in front for the GT1 class. Johnny Eckert is on pole for his class, the Daytona Prototype. And then you've got a mixed bag of GT1 drivers. Kai Shapper, Robert Hill Jr., Maximilian still getting used to things. Robert Hill has been unable to put down a time yet, as well as Maximilian unable to put down a time. Oh, Robert Hill gets very close, and he's going to come in. Maximilian put down his first time. A 135.91. Finds himself about 0.05 seconds behind DJ Weeks Jr.'s qualifying time. And what a sunny day here in Montreal. Last week we saw nothing but fog for all the drivers to navigate, so good to see the nice, clear blue skies out in force. Man, what an absolutely cool raceway for all these drivers to be at. Oh, hold on to it. Maximilian has a bit of a moment. Number 59 machine able to hold on to it. As a reminder, so to get out here, the LMP2 class, they have the Honda ARX 01C, a $3 car. You can race the Daytona Prototype class, the Riley Daytona Prototypes. It's another $3 car. You've got the GT1 drivers out there right now. You're going to see a mix of Aston Martin DBR9s as well as Chevrolet Corvette C6Rs. That's a $12 car if you want to get into the GT1 class and don't already have the content. And then you've got our GT2 class. Unfortunately, no drivers here today that are going to be racing the Ford GT. But a good mix of cars that you can get out here, have a lot of fun, to pick something that really fits your driving style best. Some guys like the Corvette and that American muscle, and then other drivers like that Audi. As we see Maximilian and Kai Shappert both in their Audis. DJ Weeks Jr., Robert Hill Jr., they're running the Corvettes. And it's, again, Johnny Eckert, he's our lone Daytona prototype driver. And then Kai Demarest will be our lone LMP2 driver here today. Less than 4 minutes left in qualifying, and then we're going to get this party started. So Robert Hill Jr. was able to put down his first lap time on 1:37.54. He's edged out by Kai Shappert with a 1:36.62. And then Maximilian's running on 1:36.41. So all these drivers running very, very close lap times here in qualifying. That's going to be very exciting for the race, especially with their all being relatively new drivers here for the season. That means things can get exciting whether these drivers want it to or not. As just as we say that, Maximilian gives it a little bit too much juice and sends the number 59 Audi sliding around. He's going to grab a tow back to pit lane. Kai Shappert, he's out there in the number 2 Audi. He's going to try and edge out his friend Maximilian. Beautiful black and white painted Audi out there, looking very, very clean. Well, I've been calling that all wrong, my friends. That was the Aston Martin, so my apologies to all these drivers. The Aston Martin out there driving very well. Not sure where I had Audi come from. We don't have any of those cars in the series, but again, my sincerest apologies. We're watching Kai Shappert make his way around the racetrack, putting down a 1:37.025. He will not best his 1:36.62 as he has less than a minute of qualifying. That will be his final lap. Timed lap, I should say. Kai Demarest, he puts down a 1:30.68, his fastest lap so far of the session. Demarest in the LP2 will be about 4 seconds a lap faster than anyone else on the racetrack. Behind him, as far as qualifying speed goes, he's got Eckert, who put down a 1:34.83. But pretty much everybody except for Kai Demarest in the LMP2 around that mid to high 134 to low 136. As Demarest has a moment, and he's going to absolutely wad up the number 42. And he'll pull over for a quick tow back to pit lane. Eckert's going to dive it here, see what he's able to do. A bunch of very fast and talented drivers as we see Eckert wiggle through 3, 4, 5, take that sharp left-hander into 6 before a sweeping right-hander into 7, but he a little bit too much on the apron. Then Eckert has problems, but man, This could be quite the race here tonight, as we've seen drivers pinballing all across the racetrack. But let's take it to your grid once qualifying officially wraps up. And right now, it looks like it's going to be Demarest on top of a provisional pole in the LMP2 with a fastest lap time of a 1:30.68. So he's going to be absolutely hauling the mail. He'll be somebody to keep an eye on. We talked to him before tonight's broadcast. He says, hey, I mean, there's no other LMP2 drivers that are able to make it. Let's play it safe. Keep an eye on Eckert because Demarest does want the overall win, but with a 4-second gap in qualifying, Demarest should not have to push too much to maintain that fast lap and stay out front with a comfortable lead. But we'll see. If there's anything that always falls true, is nothing is certain here at the Legacy Sports Car Series. We got a report from the pit lane wall that Demarest actually had the broadcast pulled up on one of his overlays inside the car and then ran out of talent. So that's the number 42 driver who is watching and practicing, or qualifying, I should say, at the same time. We can get ready to get these drivers gridded up and ready to go out, as there's usually about a minute pause between qualifying and race time, but it's going to be a great day at the beautiful Montreal circuit. Clear skies, a little bit of wind, but the track looks absolutely fantastic. We're going to get him gridded up. It's going to be Kai Demarest starting on up front, and the number 42, Johnny Eckert, will be on his side, and the number 90 starting second place and first in the Daytona prototype. And then this is where all the action is going to be. DJ Weeks Jr. qualifies on pole for his class, the GT1 class. Then you've got Maximilian starting fourth, Kai Schappert starting fifth, and Robert Hill Jr. starting sixth. So out of our top 5 drivers here, I guess all of our 5 drivers, 3 drivers brand new to the series, coming out to have a great time at the Legacy Sports Car Series, sponsored by Ledford Construction. We're going to get ready and send these racers out. And it's going to be a great race. 45 minutes for all of these drivers. And expecting at least one pit stop. We're going to wait for that iRacing safety car, that beautiful Porsche, to make its way around the track here at Montreal before sending our drivers out. And it's going to be an exciting race here today. It's going to be Kai Demarest up front, who's been very, very fast, and he has the lone LMP2 driver. But keep an eye on Johnny Eckert. We know he's extremely quick no matter what he is in. Pace car is moving. Here we go. Demarest and Eckert on your front row. Then a field of GT1s, a mixture of Aston Martins and Chevrolet Corvettes. A very diverse field, as Demarest weaving all over the racetrack, trying to put some heat in those tires early on. Everyone else in tow doing the same. Trying to put just a little bit more heat before they fire things up. Safety car is in, Demarest is away, and the number 42, Johnny Eckert, will fall in line. And the race has officially began. That's something I want to keep an eye on. This is the GT1 class leader, DJ Weeks Jr. Behind him, you've got Maximilian. Oh, DJ goes for a ride. Oh, carnage. That's Robert Hill Jr. gets into his friend, DJ Weeks Jr. So Maximilian Petrovsky, he'll take over the lead in his debut race. The number 59 machine out there in his Aston Martin. Now the newcomer has to be careful not to get those pre-race jitters and throw it away too early on. But already excitement here at Montreal. As you see, or you saw, excuse me, DJ Weeks Jr. have it looked like it was a self-spin. Robert Hill Jr. unable to get his Corvette slowed down. So that will allow the two Aston Martins in class to get a lead, and a comfortable one so far, as Petrovsky, he has a 2.6 second lead over Kai Schappert. So all the new guys out here in the mix trying to get something happening. Demarest, he has a comfortable lead out front. He's got about a 4-second gap over Johnny Eckert. Petrovsky finds himself about 2 seconds back from Eckert. Oh, hold on to it, Maximilian, as you see him aggressively hitting those inner curbs at Montreal. You do not want to get that car too unsettled, because then you can find yourself in not a good spot. So that first lap, Demarest with a 135, Eckert with a 140, Maximilian with a 142, Kai Schappert with a 145. Maximilian with a bit of a moment there. The number 59, Aston Martin, gets a little bit of unsettled, but I think we have another crash. Kai Schappert involved in an incident. Let's grab you the replay of that one. Watching Kai Schappert's number 2 machine. Let's see what happens here. A lot of lead up to that crash there. Just a little bit of curb. I think he's going to get it pretty unsettled here. A little bit more curb. Maybe tipped into the grass on that inside line. And it's going to send the number 2 sliding around. But can he keep it off the wall? A beautiful slow motion replay brought to you by Ledford Construction. And Shappy does a good job keeping it off the wall. Maximilian still running out front in the GT1 class. Kai Demarest, Johnny Eckert, the lone cars in their class, doing a great job keeping it clean. These guys still have a very long way to go. Again, it's a 45-minute mini endurance here. To finish first, you must first finish, is the age-old mantra. As that last time by, Demarest with a 131, Eckert with a 136, Petrovsky with a 137. Petrovsky has big problems, misses his mark, he goes off track. Now Petrovsky, he does still have a 13-second gap on second place in class, Kai Schappert. So at this point, he just got to take it easy, hit his marks, and not worry about hot lapping here. And take out front, we'll look at Kai Demarest go. The number 42 machine, that LMP2 driver, he is very quick. He's already got a 10-second gap over overall second place runner, Johnny Eckert. Eckert's running that Daytona prototype compared to Kai Demarest LMP2. If you're just tuning in tonight and you're wondering, hey, where's all the usual suspects? Where's Terrell? Where's the Penn brothers? Where's Ledford? They are currently competing in the Spa 24-hour endurance race. Those guys will probably be finishing up right as this race comes to a close, if not about midway through the race. And you expect a lot of those guys who stayed the entire 24 hours and stayed up for a large portion of it, they will be taking a midday nap. So unable to make it to the Legacy Sports Car Series today, but hope to see them all back next week. Demarest in the black baby blue and pink number 42 Honda LMP2. He knows the only LMP2 driver, the only one that can beat him right now is himself. But he wants the overall lead. He's not looking just for the points lead. Otherwise, he could have come in after a lap and parked it. So he's going to stay out the entire run tonight, try and make something happen. Johnny Eckert with Outlaw Racing. He's running second overall. Eckert's last time by a 134.8. Demarest did a 134 flat, so I think you're going to see Demarest kind of let off the gas here. He's got a 13-second gap. Demarest may try and fuel save and do it on on no stops. I don't know if he'll be able to, even with that 13-second gap. And that Honda LMP2, it's much, much happier when you've got aero affecting the car. Eckert doing a great job hitting his marks, just clicking off laps. Eckert, he finds himself about 9 seconds ahead of Maximilian in the GT1 class. Gonna cycle it back just a little bit here. This is Kai Schappert. He's running second in class, a fourth overall in his Aston Martin. Now we saw Schappert have a couple of close moments early on, but able to get back out there, get it dialed in. He's trying to chase down Maximilian, who currently has almost a 13-second gap over second place in the GT1 class. As you start to hear the Corvette of DJ Weeks Jr. had that early spin on his first lap on the start. DJ racing with Outlaw Racing, trying to get back up there to Schappert and battle for the second place spot in the GT1. Maximilian, he has about a 13-second gap over these two cars. You can see just on the right side of your screen, that was Shappy in the number 2 machine getting stalked by DJ Weeks Jr.'s Corvette. That American Muscle trying to chase down the Aston Martin. I've got to say, this right here is probably one of my favorite shots we've had so far in the Legacy Sports Car Series. That very cool overhead shows all these racers right next to the waterfront and then weaving between all the walls here at Montreal. DJ Weeks, he still finds himself to about a 3-second disadvantage to Schappert and the number 2 machine. Let's see. Oh no, DJ has a spin. He sends his Corvette sliding around, and that's going to give Kai a chance to breathe. Schappert and the number 2 will extend that gap. DJ was whittling away. It was down to less than 3 seconds, but now it is back to about 7.8 seconds. So Kai having a little bit of luck as DJ has had the several strokes of bad luck. Kai Schappert currently running second in class, fourth overall. Maximilian, number 59 machine, another newcomer. He's running first in class in the GT1s and third overall. So right now, 3 different classes make up your top 3. You've got Kai Demarest in the LMP2. He's out front. Johnny Eckert, he's in second place overall, first in class for the Daytona prototypes. And you've got Maximilian Petrovsky. He's running third place overall and first in class for the GT1s. Always cool to see all these new drivers coming out here and seeing what they can do at the Legacy Sports Car Series. As Demarest puts down the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:31 flat. He's about 4.2 seconds faster than any other car on track. It was going to be Eckert, the number 90 machine. He put down the second fastest lap of the race on 1:34.2. So the LMP2 finding its groove and just clicking them off. Demarest also in a lucky spot. It'll be a long time before he has to contend with lap traffic. Let's also check on Robert Hill Jr., another newcomer to the league, another racer of Outlaw Racing. He's running 6th overall, 4th in class for his debut in the GT1 class. Riding around that American Corvette Muscle. He finds himself about 12 seconds back from DJ Weeks Jr., his teammate. John Eckert doing a great job in the number 90 machine, just clicking off laps, staying smooth. I don't think you're going to see Demarest or Eckert push too hard in this race. It is their event to lose. They're going to come out here, get some practice, and just try and knock out some laps. As all these guys running very, very clean. Eckert, he's about 30 seconds back from Demarest. So still has a long more time before any of these guys are going to have to worry about lap traffic too much. Demarest out front, slowed down just a little bit with a 1:31.32 his last time by. He's got a 29-second advantage over the second place overall driver. We saw a hint of an off track there, but somebody's able to collect themselves and stay out. Not quite sure who that was. Live timing only show us the big incidents or off tracks longer than, I believe, 2 or 3 seconds. As all of our drivers still on lead track or on the lead lap, doing a great job staying out there and pushing hard. Out of all the competitors that entered the race so far, everyone's still out there running clean. No major mistakes. We saw a couple of small spins, but no harm, no foul. Watching Maximilian Petrovsky makes his way around the number 59, our current GT1 leader. Maximilian, he's an A-class driver here on the iRacing service. He's got 198 starts and 16 wins as far as official lobbies go. does a lot of endurance race. 6 Hours of Glen, the VRS Global Endurance Series. We're at the unofficial 24 Hours of Le Mans. His team finished 20th in class. Demarest keeps getting faster up front. He clicks off a 130.91, so besting his previous best lap of the race so far. So Demarest getting a little bit in the groove here, burning off some fuel and saying, hey, you know what? If we're out here, we might as well hot lap a little bit. And he's going to start to catch Robert Hill Jr. in the 05 machine. So Demarest has to be very, very careful around lap traffic. He has everything to lose and nothing to gain from pushing too aggressively. See what Eckert does. Looks like Robert Hill Jr. is going to get out of the way, pull to the high line, allow that LMP2 driver to the inside line. Coming down that start-finish line straight. It'll be nice and clear, and Robert Hill Jr. will be the first car going to lap down in the 05 Chevrolet Camaro. Demarest now, he should have Kai Schappert ahead of him by about 15 seconds, I believe. That will be the next contender Demarest has to work through around Montreal. As you can just barely hear the engine out of Robert Hill Jr. trying to catch up to these other drivers. The Corvette's probably some of the best sounding cars on the iRacing simulator, as well as the Legacy Sports Car Series. I mean, I do love the high-pitched whine you get out of some of these performance machines, but there's nothing like that American muscle to really get you going, especially in some place you wouldn't expect it, like a racetrack in Canada. We normally have the pleasure of hearing those big old engines around the oval circuit here on iRacing, but that Camaro making it happen wherever it can. Road, ovals, doesn't matter, but man, the class right now to keep an eye on, that LMP2. Demarest hauling the mail as he gets very, very close to the wall of champions. We've seen that collect several drivers in practice, but Demarest is using every little bit of track space he can without getting too close. We are approaching the halfway mark, maybe around that lap 22. Not lap, excuse me, that time of 22 minutes to 25 minutes of the race. You'll see guys such as Demarest and Eckert come in and grab their fuel and 4 fresh tires before going back out. Ooh, Demarest has a moment, gets a little bit of that back left rear getting onto the grass. So let's see in the next, probably here sometime in this lap, you're going to see Demarest coming up on Kai Schappert's number 2 machine. So let's see. We do not have eyes on Schappert's number 2 machine yet, but we know he's coming close. I just barely heard that Aston Martin, but we can't quite see it yet. Demarest, he's currently running about 5 seconds a lap faster than Shepard, but Shepard seems to be finding a little bit more speed. Put down his fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:36.23, his last time by. And oh no, Shepard has a crash. Let's see if we can get a replay of that one for you. Oh no, I think we're about to see a pass here first. The Shepard showing a lap down. Let's see if we can get an instant replay here for you. Let's see what happens to old Shappy in the number 2 machine. This may be where we saw him have a bit of a, or we saw DJ Weeks Jr. have a moment earlier. And same thing, it looks like Shappy sends himself sliding around, but comes out relatively unscathed. All these guys overall, they're doing a fantastic job keeping it clean, staying very green. We haven't seen any big incidents so far tonight, just a little bit of self-spin shenanigans. As Demarest just clicking off laps, nothing to it. We are just barely past the halfway mark, so you can expect to see some of these drivers initiating their pit cycles, grabbing 4 fresh tires and a little bit of fuel. As let's see, Demarest, his next car he'll be coming around is DJ Weeks Jr., who is parked in the race line. let's get a replay of you for that. That might be one of the funnier things I think I've ever seen here at Legacy Sports Cars. We gotta back that up a little bit. So watch, you're on board with Demarest right here. Demarest watching Weeks, see him sending around. It just comes to just the perfect stop, avoiding DJ Weeks Jr., who had that self-spin. Well done to the guys for putting on a show for everybody and keeping it clean. So Demarest has got around DJ Weeks Jr., he's got around Robert Hill Jr., and he's got around Kai Shepard. Shepard, I believe, who had to take a tow earlier. So now you've got Maximilian Petrovsky. He's doing a great job. He's 3rd overall, 1st in class in the number 59 machine. And driving very, very well here today. His best lap was a 1:34.84. His last time by a 1:38.03. None of the top 3 have pitted yet. So Demarest, Eckert, and Petrovsky have not come into pit lane. DJ Weeks Jr., he's going to come into pit lane. Johnny Eckert comes into pit lane. Kai Shepard came in on lap 13 for him. Maximilian, he'll begin his pit cycle. Johnny Eckert has come in. Demarest appears to be staying out for a little while longer. Maybe try and find some clean racetrack. Demarest playing it very, very safe compared to his normal if-gap car mentality. So well done to see the 42 out there maturing as a driver, getting faster and faster both in ovals and in road course. But road course is where he is most comfortable. I do know he uses one of those Fanatec F1 style wheels, so he's definitely at home behind the wheel of the LMP2 as he's about to cut through lap traffic. And man, look at the speed difference. He gets back around DJ Weeks Jr. And is that Eckert in front of him? I believe it is. So Eckert is about to go a lap down to the number 42, but Eckert has initiated his pit stop already. Demarest has not. And you can really appreciate the closing speeds in these two classes of drivers. And Demarest is going to come into pit lane, initiate his pit stop in the LMP2. That'll put Johnny Eckert back as your overall race leader. Actually, I take that back. Eckert is almost a full lap behind. So Eckert will stay on the lead lap, but he will not be able to get all the way around in time, I don't think. As you see Demarest flashing those lights, his pit limiter is on. So let's see how quickly Demarest can get in and out. As Demarest will have to once again cut through traffic. Man, Maximilian doing a great job out here in his season debut. Really pushing hard in the Aston Martin, number 59. He has almost a lap lead over second place in class, Kai Schappert and Robert Hill Jr. DJ Weeks, though, having a rough night. He was kind of the odds-on favorite here today, and he finds himself fourth in class, sixth overall. Now, luckily, Weeks does have a very, very significant point advantage. Out of the 3 races he entered, he was able to win. He currently has a 450-point gap over Charles Bochelle in second place. Bochelle not making it tonight. Take it back out front to Kai Demarest. See if he's cut through all that traffic yet. About 15 minutes left to go in today's feature event. And Demarest has been very, very quick all day long. He lost about a minute to Eckert on that pit stop. By the time Demarest entered pit lane to the time he rolled out, that was 1 minute and 6 seconds is how long that pit cycle took. He spent 31 seconds in his pit stall. And he's going to go back out and be able to cruise to victory at this point for an overall win. Unless something goes wrong. We've seen several cars have self-spins and incidents. So can Demarest play it safe and avoid falling victim to any of those follies? Or will lap traffic accidentally make it exciting? It's still very early to tell in the race. 15 minutes left. As you have Demarest out front for the overall lead. Johnny Eckert leading his class in second overall. And Maximilian leading his class third overall. And then next week we'll return to full grids and a whole lot of action. We are on round 5 of the season so far. So round 5 out of 12 events scheduled. Next week we go to Sonoma Raceway for round 6. It's always going to be a good one. Get back on American soil. And then we'll see if we're going to see any upsets. We're expecting to see a lot more drivers back next week. I don't think they're going to run 24 hours to back, even though it is on the iRacing official schedule. And we just heard a V8 muscle machine out of frame. That will be Dennis Weeks Jr. He's coming into pit lane once more. So now Demarest, he's going to try and keep pushing hard. He wants to try and get back around Maximilian Petrovsky and Johnny Eckert. Demarest is going to want to push hard and maybe try and lap the entire field here tonight. He doesn't get any bonus points for it, but a little bit of another feather in the hat and makes you feel pretty good. Demarest has been charging hard. I really wish we had the opportunity to see the Terrell and Penn and all those fast guys. Ledford, I wish he was out here. Maximilian, he has a crash. We'll grab you the replay of that, but Kai Demarest able to get by nice and clean. You're on board with Maximilian here. Mr. Petrovsky, a new racer in the league. Let's see what happens to him. That right-hander has been eating cars alive today. So he goes sliding across the racetrack. Does a good job keeping it off the wall, but a bit of a moment there for the Petrovsky number 59 machine. So now Demarest is going to try and catch up to jumping Johnny Eckert. Demarest he's been gaining about 2 seconds a lap faster than Eckert. He would need a whole lot of laps here remaining to try and get all the way up to lap second place Johnny Eckert. Eckert's last time by was a 134.99. We'll call it a 135 flat compared to Demarest, who did a 132 flat. So about 3 seconds a lap is the disadvantage that Eckert has in his Daytona prototype machine. And don't get me wrong, the fact that Eckert is still going so fast in a different class car that is arguably much slower than these very high downforce, very modern LMP2 machines is quite impressive. "11 minutes remaining in tonight's race." I believe that's DJ Weeks Jr. we see off the front of Kai Demarest's number 42. Unfortunately, DJ Weeks Jr., he is the odds-on favorite for the GT1 class, but having all host of issues. Now we can tell Demarest is not driving nearly as hard as he has been, as he in practice and in qualifying was running much closer to the wall of champions and playing it much safer here in the remaining 10 minutes of the Legacy Sports Car Series. Demarest, he's once again has lap traffic in front of that may be Robert Hill Jr. Multiple, as you see Demarest working the high beams, letting lap cars know, hey, I'm coming through and I'm flying right here. As he's going to play it safe, following Kai Shappert's number 2. Shappert gives him the preferred line, so all these guys being very professional out here. So I believe this is actually your battle for second place in the GT1 class. We've got a bit of a race forming up as Robert Hill Jr., he's chasing down Kai Shappert in the number 2. So you've got Chevrolet versus Aston Martin. We've seen both of these drivers have some innocence here tonight, as now Shappy has company. He's trying to hold on to that second place spot. They are quite far behind from the class leader, Maximilian Petrovsky, but they are out here to race. Doesn't matter where you're at or what's going on, racers race. We may see a good battle forming up here, as Robert Hill Jr.'s last time by was a 142, Shappert's was a 139. Let's see, can the two newcomers put on a show? It's really three newcomers in the mix. Maximilian, the leader for the GT1 class, brand new to the series. Kai Shappert, number 2, he's new. And then Robert Hill Jr.'s 05 machine, also new. But oh, hold on to it, Hill. Gets the big old rear end of that Corvette swinging around. So that was Shappert you saw come through first on that little chute of a straightaway. So let's see, Robert Hill Jr., he finds himself about 3.4 seconds back from Kai Shappert. Shappert's currently running a 4th overall, 2nd in class. What a cool shot. As that Aston Martin gets a little bit of a shimmy coming off that the rumble strips here at Montreal. So the running order still stands. Dimrest out front in the LMP2. Honda Eckert in 2nd with the Daytona prototype. And then Petrovsky, he's running 3rd in his Aston Martin. A lot of great drivers out here. DJ Weeks Jr. may have called it. It looks like he's in pit lane. He's been there for over 3 minutes. We're going to see if we can get a pit lane reporter down there to talk to DJ, who's not having a great night. He's called it early in the number 997 Corvette. Maximilian Petrovsky, newcomer in the number 59, Aston Martin, doing a great job. He's got lap traffic to contend with. And he sends it for a little bit of a ride there. Almost has a moment, able to hold on to it. But that'll kill his drive just ever so slightly. So that's a tough part for some of these racers. They get more and more comfortable as the run progresses. And the next thing you know, late in a run, you can find yourself with a big moment and find yourself into the wall. As Petrovsky able to hold on to it, but he's going to slow down that car just a little bit, maybe take it easier. Petrovsky, one of those drivers we don't really know much about. We're not quite sure where he's from, but we're glad he found us. Great to see more people joining the Legacy Sports Cars series. And again, if you want to get on the action, you can get one of the cars for as cheap as $3. Get out here, coming on the action every Saturday Always brought to you live on the Team Goon Squad broadcasting channel. It's always a pleasure to be around all these drivers. A lot of fun to hang out with, even when we're not in the broadcast booth. We're out hanging out with the drivers, talking to them, and these guys run practice sessions throughout the week together and always have a great time. That's really what it's about, is surrounding yourself with like-minded folks and trying to work on a little bit of racecraft. As you see Petrovsky, he's got lap traffic to deal with. I believe that's going to be Robert Hill Jr.'s 05 Corvette. Got to be very careful here not to find himself in too risky of a situation. They've only got 4 minutes remaining in the race. Oh, and just like that, there it is. Maximilian involved with lap traffic. Hopefully he can get back on track and not need a tow here. He's got quite an advantage over Kai Schappert, but he doesn't want to mess it up here. We're going to grab you that slow motion replay brought to you by Ledford Construction. Let's see what happens here between Petrovsky and Robert Hill Jr. Two newcomers in the series, so not quite used to driving around each other yet. Like Petrovsky's going to look to the inside line. Too heavy on the brakes. He's going to get that number 59 machine all sorts of unsettled. Send him sliding around. So it doesn't look like too bad of damage on the number 59, so he'll be able to get back out there and run hard. But he's had his scary moment of the day. Oh, another one! Petrovsky using up all the racetrack at the Wall of Champions, able to hold on to it. They've only got about 2 minutes left remaining in the race, so he's just got to calm down, keep his heart rate under control, and stay out there. And then we've got Johnny Eckert has an incident too. Eckert, our second place overall, and a first in class for the Daytona Prototypes, the number 90 machine. That said, that little chicane has really been wearing drivers out all night long. Eckert will get a little bit of damage there. We're going to quickly get back on the gas and get rolling. As, oh man, these guys are having problems late in the run. Looks like Eckert's going to stay out. He's got a very comfortable gap on third place overall, Maximilian. A 54-second gap to the third place runner and first in class for GT1 of Petrovsky. So Eckert looks relatively okay in the number 90 machine. He's definitely got a little bit of damage on it, but he's able to stay out there and keep pushing. He should be able to have a comfortable second place here overall, as we have 30 seconds left in tonight's race at Montreal. All these guys put on a great show. And again, don't mix next week as we go to Sonoma with bigger grids and more action here at the Legacy Sports Car Series, sponsored by Ledford Construction. We're going to take it back up front as Kai Demarest should be on his final lap. Checkered flag is out. Demarest will take the overall and class win in the LMP2s. I'm not quite sure what Dimmer's doing. He's going to try and smoke the tires. So that will put a cap on it here at Montreal. It's going to be Demarest bringing it home in the LMP2, an overall win. Johnny Eckert in the number 90 machine will be second in overall and first in class. And then newcomer Maximilian Petrovsky, he'll be bringing it home third overall, first in class, but great driving from all of our competitors. We're going to try and get these guys up into the grid. As Johnny Eckert's going to come across the start-finish line for the final time. We've got Demarest in the waiting room. We're still waiting on Johnny Eckert and Maximilian. So we've got Johnny Eckert, we've got Kai Demarest. We're just waiting on one of the other newcomers, Maximilian, to make his way into the podium booth. As Johnny Eckert's going to burn it down, the number 90 machine, the Daytona prototype, second overall. And here we go. We're going to get this party started. Up first, we've got third overall, first in class newcomer Maximilian. Great run out there tonight, my friend. Max, you may have your microphone muted. Well, this will be the shortest interview we've ever done. Maximilian, he has microphone problems, but while we have it up here, we'd like to go ahead and congratulate you. Your first time up here in the podium booth. Did a great job in the GT1 class. We hope to see you more often, and maybe next week with the microphone so we can get a podium interview, but well done out there tonight, my friend. All right, now you've got second overall, first in class for the Daytona prototype, Johnny Eckert. Johnny, well done tonight. It looks like everyone had a few moments, but you just had a few less than some of the other guys.
Yeah, I was for most of the race. I was focused on just trying to be there in case that Kai had problems or whatever, and maybe bring it home first overall. But towards the end, kind of just lost focus a couple times and lost the car in moments that I noticed I was gonna potentially do if I lost focus in practice. And yeah, I mean, thankfully I didn't do any big damage to the car, so made it home one piece.
So you're going to extend that points lead just a little bit as Ahmed, Forsey, Thiel unable to make it tonight. A lot of guys run the Spa 24-hour. Was that something you just did not want to do this weekend, or did you figure Legacy Sports Car would be enough racing for you in one day?
Yeah, I originally had plans to run the Spa race, but I kind of fell through towards the end. Just kind of we jumped on it a little bit late, so we decided not to race, and so I opted to come here. And I was kind of surprised this race was scheduled, to be honest, given the amount of people running Spa. But you know, it worked out for me, I guess.
Yeah, we got some new faces, new friends to race with, and I expect to see a little bit bigger grids at Sonoma. Johnny, before I let you sign off, my friend, who would you like to give a shout out to that gives you all the support on and off the track?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for doing the broadcast. I know I'm sure it was interesting in GT class for a while, but I want to thank you, thank the admins that run this place. Thank my teammates, Robert Hill, who made his debut tonight and was pretty made a pretty big gains in practice. So I'm proud of him for that. He's not necessarily known for his road racing, but and also DJ Weeks, who had a really rough night. He was the fastest GT1 car. It just kept getting in tough spots, and I don't know exactly what happened. I know his race ended by hitting the wall of champions, so to some degree that's fitting. But yeah, tough night for him. But I can't wait to see what they got moving forward.
Well, always a great time. Always a pleasure having you up here, Johnny. We hope to see you do well at the next one, my friend.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
And then up next, we've got Kai Demarest. Great job out there tonight, bringing it home overall as well as the LMP2 class. I mean, but I don't know if you saw it, Kai. Well, I guess let's talk about that moment you had with, I believe, DJ Weeks Jr., where you had to bring that LMP2 to a dead stop and looking eye to eye with a car going the wrong direction.
Yeah, that was interesting. I stared him down for a little, got on the mic, said back it up, beep beep beep. He got out of the way pretty quickly. It wasn't too bad. But that was I definitely thought my race might be over for a second there because he started driving back forwards after I stopped. And I thought he was going to run into me, but he did fine, so not too big of an issue.
Well, nothing but professionalism here at Legacy Sports Car Series. Did you have any close moments during that race, or was it pretty smooth sailing all the way around?
No. The only one X I had was I pulled off towards the end of the race to go get a glass of water and then came back, but that was it.
Well, very well done out there tonight, Mr. Demarest. Before I let you sign off, if you'd like to give a shout out to any friends, family, sponsors, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Team Goon Squad and U East for the broadcast and the team actually, but that's pretty much it. And good clean racing from everyone else out there today. So thanks to all of them as well.
Well done tonight, Kai. Hope to see you do well at Sonoma next week, my friend.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it here at the Legacy Sports Car Series, sponsored by Ledford Construction. As always, I'd like to thank all of our race control guys that make this happen, the race admins, Cody Ledford for the sponsorship for this season, and then all of our drivers for always putting on a good show. We'll see you next week at Sonoma. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East. Hope to see you next week, and thank you again for tuning in. Have a good night, everybody.